Hello.
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you and I can see you. I hope that's the case. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
here.
Hi.
Anyone else joining us? Oh, Morris.
Yeah,
Great.
supposedly.
Hi guys.
Oh,
Hello.
So welcome. I'm here for the first time.
Yeah, welcome.
I see from your faces you've been doing this many times before, probably.
not
Yeah.
me really. It's my first time as well. So
Hi.
no
Oh yeah.
worries.
The other question, placer, I think.
Go ahead.
Where is this stuff? Oh yeah.
Where are you located?
I'm from the Netherlands.
Oh. Nice.
And you?
Munich. And Jakob is in Poland, I believe it's so.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's true.
All right.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, to be.
Good.
Okay, I'll share my screen. And I'm not sure if we are going to be expecting somebody for now, but let me quickly share my screen. Yeah. Please, guys, feel free to add your name to the attendees. In the meeting notes, you'll find the link to our meeting notes also on Slack or on the GitHub issue. So I think we are ready to start. So thanks again for joining, people. Today, we will be mainly focusing on the release announcements, because since it's release date, we usually talk about the previous release and the newly planned release. Also, we have an interesting demo that we will do on a feature that was released, I think, since 2 releases already, but it is interesting to give a demo about it, which is using xip.io in Kyma for dynamic DNS configuration and during the installation. Also, we have quite an interesting discussion. Thank you guys for adding your comments and suggestions and feedback. I think we can also discuss this if you want, and if the time will allow it, that would be great. So I think we are ready to start. I will be taking notes today as well, since I will do very less talking. So please.
Okay.
Start.
I'm finding share screen. Please unshare.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stopped.
And then I can share my screen. So first of all, Kyma 0.9 Florence is released, and I just want to give you a couple of highlights. You can check it, of course, yourself in details. Big point right now, we finally managed to embed Knative as default eventing engine in Kyma. So when you install Kyma, you get Knative out of the box for free. And it works, it's integrated with the newest stack of other components. So we have also Istio upgraded to 1.1 version. We have upgraded all the monitoring stack, Prometheus, Grafana, and everything is integrated with the newest Knative. So yeah, you have really brand new stuff with one click installation. Second improvement, we'll not talk about that much because Jakub will present that XIPIO wildcard DNS is integrated, so no more handling with your custom DNS settings, with obtaining certificates. If you want to just play with Kyma, you have to just install it without additional overhead. Other improvements, we introduced this asset store some time ago, and now headless CMS based on this asset store is fully integrated in console UI. So all these docs, API specifications are handled by our asset store. And we also worked a lot on upgrade process. So we have improved our upgradability tests because we are aiming to 1.0 release soon, and since that we need to have really nice and shiny upgrades process. A couple of other improvements are mentioned below, but you can see full changelog in the Kyma release. One point here, we have 0.9 released, but today probably we will have 0.91. Which fixes some strange bug in the UI if you provision some service from service catalog and you do not click on a name of this service instance, it won't be created. So this is some glitch we found, but can be really annoying. So that's why we will release the patch. Right now, the release process is quite smooth, so we can release often, which is our goal. That's about 0.9. I just wanted to give you some preview of what will happen next.
Nice. Any questions, guys, about it for 0.9? Okay, Piotr, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So next topic is to really introduce new version, release 1.0. It will be soon. So actually, it should be available in about 2 weeks, about 23rd of April, because in 0.9 we focus also a lot on performance, on security, on fixing all the bugs. We missed a couple of things to make this release 1.0. So we need to add mutual TLS as default enabled option in Istio Service Mesh. We need also logging integration because logging is not fully integrated yet because of some glitches in GKE deployment. And as soon as we fix that and a couple of other bug fixes, we are ready to release 1.0. And this will be released soon. In parallel, so this 1.0 release is more about the finishing and polishing 0.9 release and make it really stable. And in parallel, we also started working on release 1.1, which will come in 5 weeks. And with that version, we will have a couple of new nice features. First of all, we want to have better way to introduce own extensions, install own extension in Kyma cluster. So we plan to have something like add-on catalog. So this is more the way to install own services, lambdas, deployments, other things as bundle in service catalog. But we want to distinguish that from service consumption. So for example, consuming Azure services or GCP services. We're the last big cloud provider, so AWS broker will be there, and this way you can also use services from AWS. And a third point, asset store with production-ready configuration. Right now, we have asset store based on Minio component, which is keeping data in cluster, in Kubernetes cluster. But Minio has an option to work in the gateway mode. So we want to have easy configuration to use GCP storage or Amazon S3 or other storages to keep our assets. Then we also work on testing. We will have a new framework for our testing. Right now we use Helm tests, which has a lot of limitations, and we started in Kyma Incubator Octopus project, which will be our test runner, and it will be integrated in the next release. We also focus a lot of performance tests. We want to, because we had already a couple of issues from the community. People started testing our generic settings are not the best for the performance. We need to tweak them a little bit, and this is also our focus to have better throughput, latency, scalability of our components. Then we have also 2 POCs, so this will land in the next release probably as a feature toggle, integration with Kiali, which is Istio visualization, and we want to also, out of the box, support some OAuth servers and protect our services with OAuth too. We want to use our Hydra for that as a POC. But as I said, this is more as a preview feature behind the feature toggle, something like that. And of course, we will invest in other improvements in UI documentation and monitoring. That's the plan for release 1.1, which will come in the middle of May. Everything from myself. Any questions to that?
Okay, thanks. Thank you very much. And yeah, if you want to know more or to have a list of this is all on our blog. So go to kymaproject.io to the blog section where you have our release announcement, and we will also have the link ready in our notes. Great. Jakob, are you ready to tell us more about xip.io?
Yep, I'm ready. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Yeah. First question, I have it. How do you pronounce it?
XIP.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, because there are multiple people said some different ways of doing it. Nice. Okay.
Let me stick to XIP so that we're all clear with this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me share my screen, if I may. You won't find anything interesting really, but
yeah.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, that's the documentation. We're gonna discuss it later. So yeah, it's my pleasure to brief you on xip.io integration. And let me begin with a remark, an important one. This issue was originally a part of 0.8 release, but was never really discussed during previous SNG meetings, so that's why I bring it up here right now. Yeah, so as to xip.io itself, I'm not going to elaborate on this one, but it is a mechanism that provides wildcard DNS for a given IP address. So if you need to know something more for any further reference, anything you need, just visit xip.io, and I'm pretty sure you're going to find everything you need there. Okay, so let's move to the changes we implemented. The default cluster setup was quite difficult previously. It assumed that the user owns a domain, which is no longer the case. Yeah, it was, of course, it was possible to install Kyma using the xip.io as well, but it was not considered our main setup, our default setup, and the procedure was slightly more complex. It required some separate files, documentation, etc., etc. The way it works now is basically pretty easy. We reversed this behavior, and our basic setup is using XIP domain. So if the user does not provide a domain during the installation, I mean as an override, basically, Kyma installer knows that, and that's where the XIP patch kicks in. It basically reserves an IP address in our GCP project. It provides a wildcard DNS for this IP and generates self-signed certificates. Yeah, and so the installation goes on. If the user, however, provides their own domain, nothing really happens, because the XIP patch just skips the procedure, because it knows it's not necessary, because the domain is already there. And so yeah, that's the main difference. We reduced the number of config files this way, because we no longer need multiple custom resources. So basically, XIP patch is it's a separate chart, and it's been it's been integrated into our default custom resource. And yeah, then again, if it always is installed, but if the domain is if a domain is provided, then the patch does nothing really. And as a result, we are able to install Kyma on a cluster in a simple way. The installation itself is simplified. It's easier to try our product out of the box. We do not generate as many GCP resources as we did before, and given the number of our everyday pro jobs, it is an important thing to do. And yeah, again, also we decrease the number of configuration files we need in our installation process. One more thing, XIP integration is a nice stuff really, but it is not suitable for production environments. So yeah, it's mostly for us developers as a mean of developing our stuff and testing it, but it's not suitable for production. Thank you guys. That's pretty much it.
Thank you, Jakob. Any questions for Jakob? Okay, I'm gonna share my screen again.
Okay, let me stop sharing. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah. Cool. So I would propose to go to the questions and feedback, since you guys have a couple of points that may be worth the discussion before we go to our board. Our board already has one issue in progress, so yeah, let's just move to your feedback. The first point is from Jason, and I'm not sure if he's already in the call.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
okay.
It's not. But Chris and Neil, we are in the same team, so we work with them.
Okay. One last point, guys. Yeah, it would be great if you add your names to our meeting agenda. That would be awesome. I took the liberty in just adding what I see in that list, but yeah, let us know more. So wanna go ahead, Chris, and tell us what are your points about this?
All right.
I think probably Neil is more up to date than I am regarding Kyma. Really, the question, for my understanding, that Jason was asking is, well, on a contractual support kind of level, because we've got lots of different components that are very interesting. However, we might not need all of them. So what does it mean if we deactivate or disable one of them? And contractually, what does it mean? Does it mean that the whole thing gets invalidated, or can you maybe shed some light on that for our own understanding?
Piotr, you're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, I think I can answer that. So we have this installation custom resource, which lists all the components. These components actually reflects the content of the resources folder in the Kyma repository. The links are also in the bottom. So I added it to the Maurice answer. The second link, custom component installation, I think is the one you can go. So our custom resource declares which components you want to install. If you do not need this component, you just remove the line. So this is the example. If you do not want to have application connector, you just remove that. And below there is a link to the full template installer. This installer CR template.
So, yeah.
Yeah, this one. If you open that, it's the sample of template. What components do we have? And if you do not need that component, you have to remove that. Of course, not everything makes sense. So it is not documented. It's more about also common sense. So if you remove Istio or cluster essential, everything will stop work because we depend on that a lot. If you remove DEX, you will have headless cluster, so no UI will work there because you cannot sign in to the console. If you remove application connector, of course, or this event application connectivity won't work. But some components are not mandatory. So if you remove Prometheus, you can, but keeping Grafana in place also doesn't make sense because then monitoring will not work, or but some components are not mandatory. So you can remove Arc, for example, you won't have backup. You can remove Jaeger, you won't have tracing.
Yeah, and the whole monitoring as well. Yeah.
Are these dependencies somehow documented somewhere so that we know that we want to do things by the book, and if we had a clear documentation that lists, for example, as you indicated, if we deactivate, I don't know, Prometheus, it doesn't make sense for us to have any Grafana or things like that. Is that indicated clearly with a clear dependency tree or something?
I don't think so. Yeah, so I think it's better to fill
we have
feature requests. I don't. Yeah. I think there is no clear dependency. Yeah, so
yeah. What we have here is only about the Kyma Lite and Kyma, and that's what I saw so far here. But definitely, yeah, as
it's the installation section.
It's Helm, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. So you have what is in Kyma Lite. So what you can remove here. So these things are our two predefined configurations. So you can safely, for example, remove all this logging, tracing, monitoring if you don't need that. We do not install that in the Minikube because you have access to all these components. It doesn't make sense to take resources for that. Of course, in cluster, it does make sense to have these components because it gives you observability. Yeah? So
that's a matter of opinion. That I would like to see it in my cluster on my laptop just to test it out. But
yeah, you can. Yeah, so it's just a matter of how big your laptop is. Yeah. So having these 20 components is really a resource consume. It's a lot of resources. Yeah, so on average laptop, you need to really have a beast. Yeah, to run all this stuff. Yeah.
If you add Jaeger and the monitoring and Prometheus operator, just probably I think even they are there uncommented in the lines.
Yeah, so you can do that. Yeah,
I figured out how it works. So it's easy actually. Once you know it, it's so straightforward. It always is. In the beginning, you're just depending on some documentation. Like, okay, they are going to help me.
Yeah, so feel free to create tickets, or I can create it for you. I think
No,
that
we should do that ourselves, of course. I think we should contribute it in that way.
So then if you create ticket, you will be notified when it is done. Yeah. So this is just maybe more convenient for you.
Perfect. Much appreciated. Thank you.
All right. Maybe I can go for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just always approaching things from a workflow, from my own workflow. Like I'm developing stacks, Kubernetes stacks, and I would like to, let's say, add on functionality. I would like to install some Helm charts. Well, I kind of made the decision by now, after looking and working with this, that your stack should remain like totally separate from my own repository. I would not clone your stack and add on to it unless I was a developer of Kyma, unless I wanted to extend Kyma Core, Kyma plugins that come within the custom installer, for instance. So personally, I would like an out-of-the-box experience that consolidates my Kyma stack. I don't have to touch it. I don't have to modify it. It just gives me access in some ways to, let's say, deploy Helm charts. So I had a little bit of a problem getting the Helm client connected, which was totally my stupidity, because anyway, it doesn't matter. But
this is usability is against the security, so we apply this these TLS certificates because of security vulnerability in Tiller, which is well known.
Yeah, no, I use it too. It's the least we can do. I just have my own aliases, my own certificates and all that, and I never use the full commands. But anyway, what my issue is with this stack is that if you were to make it adopted by as an open source thing, I don't know what your motives are for putting this out there. I assume it has many motives. I mean, it's like, you want people to contribute.
Yes, we want. Yes, so and we listen. Yes,
you want to be a big player with SAP. You want to show something to the world. I mean, there's many motives. So, and we are the guys who should take that forward. The people contributing to your GitHub, your open source repository. So, I would suggest some opinionated workflows, like for people coming in from different angles. Like me, I'm very Helm opinionated. I have some approaches like GitOps, or Helm file that I like to use in practice. And it would be nice to offer a way to show how we can deploy extra packages that will then suddenly be nicely wrapped by some Envoy container, like this out-of-the-box experience that you offer, and maybe then, expose this service through some API, and then maybe also suggest how you can wrap that all up in your own custom Helm package. Because ultimately, this is what I would like to do. I would, for instance, just deploy some package, some open source Helm package, but I would enrich it with some of your CRs, to make it get picked up by this service catalog and all that stuff.
Okay, so I think that this is something that is coming just in the next release. So I mentioned this add-on manager. This is actually this thing. So we have a Helm broker inside of Kyma. So Helm broker is kind of open broker API implementation that is deploying Helm charts. So yes, connection of two things. Yeah? So package manager Helm with open service broker API. And we want to, so it is supported right now. You can plug in your own repository and point Helm broker to that repository. And I will find you documentation 1 second. It is documented in the Helm broker configuration. Yeah.
So you can add repos to the Helm broker, and it will
and you see here you can have own GitHub repository or other just Git repository, or actually it doesn't have to be Git repository because it gets HTTP URL. Yeah. So
I'm guessing this makes it possible for me to install. After I add a repo, just the same thing. I find my services, I can install it.
Yes.
Okay, then my next question would be: would you automatically connect? Make all the extras available. So could I then make a service binding? Immediately.
Yes. Why not? Yeah, because service binding is a custom resource. If you put
Exactly.
that
So I would just be able to
in the YAML,
continue with this workflow that you offer me.
mhm.
Then my next question would be: this is something important. I want it to be repeatable. So I want kind of like press a button that says, okay, now these are the resources that have been created for you, and you can add this into your own repo and make it and consolidate, like from a GitOps perspective. So I want to play around with this
Okay.
setup that you have, but one code back, so I can merge it with my repository and.
Okay, I understand your point. Yeah, so you have something from the catalog, you use UI, but then you have some configuration in your cluster, and you want to dump it to the repo back, and then apply it magically with your
kind of a more general
GitOps, yeah?
question that most of us have, like how do we deal with changes in Kubernetes?
We do not cover it yet, but I'm open for the proposal. So this is nice use case, I think, and it would really be a great feature, I think. Yeah, definitely I'm on it. Yeah, so
make it possible to keep your stack as core, totally separate, and have your own everything as code, a repo next to it, and then it would always
so this is something which is still on our roadmap. So some helpers, some tooling for connecting your own repository and having it deployed in the by just git commit or merge. Yeah.
Give us a custom extra version of the deploy of the installation. We can of course probably deploy many installations with different release names. I could maybe you could give that back at the same time. This is the release. These are the files that you need to store, and then you deploy this as this package on top of Kyma. You will get back to your current state.
Okay, so I understand. Yeah, so prepare some package that will be something like auto start in Windows. Yes, after. so this one will land in your cluster immediately. Yeah. Okay. I think that is the good idea. So I encourage you to maybe to try this Helm package things, and so we can start with that. And actually, this Helm package we can apply with one command. So this is maybe because this is just the service class, we can apply also from the CLI CI. And if you can, maybe just do some prototype how you would like to work, and give us a feedback what you miss, which step in the end you would require. I think that we can prioritize that work. Yeah.
If you give me some endpoints where I can type that down, or where you would like me to, is it just on GitHub and some issue, some feature request?
Yeah.
Right.
Feel free to do that. Yeah. Or also let me show you where we have also our community repo. So here we introduce proposals. So our community repo for SIGs and working groups for SIG Core, you will see a directory that's called proposals, and you can simply add your own MD file and a pull request, create something against it, and definitely we can discuss over that.
Or just create the issue with the feature request and describe what you would like to have, what is missing, and we can take it. Yeah, so it's more lightweight. Yeah,
we can have more input first before we consolidate it into something.
But definitely, I think that this case is something we want to have. That's why, this is also our next release scope. Yeah, so these add-ons. We want to more simplify that and have better experience here.
Yeah, take us by the hand with good instructions.
So what is your suggestion? I think this is just a follow-up for that. Yeah, so having that in place and easily installable for the UI, then having it as a code is the next step. Yeah.
Yeah, but for now, if I were you, I would also add like to the definition of done to deliver documentation. You know, to make use case scenarios, to deliver use case scenarios for what you deliver. So everybody, you know, you give a demo to your crew, you give the tools for other people to give the same demo. So far, I find your stack just a description of what you've been doing mostly. There's no real use case. Take me by the hand documentation, which very mature packages do offer. Of course, it always goes like that. You know, first you describe what you have. It's for top dogs who know exactly what's going on, and then you're delivering to more newbies, kind of like.
Yeah, for feedback. Yeah, thank you very much for that. Yeah, so actually, yeah, we also work on that, but yeah, we are never so fast as we wanted to be.
No, but for that, we need like a template of kind of like how do we deliver this? Like through storytelling, you know, you have like some overarching you build up.
Yeah, I think that please come with the issue, with the proposal, and describe your case. So how you imagine working, delivering this your own packages. And we will try to make the story out of that. Yeah, so really document that and provide the support in our product for that. I think this is really valuable feedback. Really, thank you for that. And yeah, I'm eager to work on that.
May I ask one question? Because I'm totally new to this Kyma stuff. And what is your cooperation? You are probably all paid to work on this like full time. Some overarching. Is there some overarching organization that?
Yeah. So right now, contributors are 100% SAP employees, and yeah, we are paid for that. And but this is the strategy of the company. Yeah. So we won't be present in this community. And this is real open source project. So we have some first contribution from external companies, mainly SAP, but other people's interested. And of course, yeah, we encourage people to contribute and keep it open. So that's why we have this meeting, for example, which is open and we listen to the community. We want to engage with community. So this is not the classic project from the commercial company that just give something to GitHub and don't care. Yeah, we really care about the community. So
awesome. So I'm looking forward to version 1 because that will actually make it more Helm friendly.
Yeah.
Awesome. When is the date pretty much, or how do you see that when that will be delivered?
So 1.0 is actually in 2 weeks, but this is more a thing that we have more stable version of Open9 with complete features and complete security, and then in 1.1 MTLS and logging support. So this is missing a couple of bugs, and then 1.1 we have these add-ons. But 1.1 is 13th of May, so in a month and
every 2 weeks, one major change. Wow.
Yeah, we are progressing fast. So we have quite a good team here, and we are 100% focused on that product. So awesome. We can deliver things really fast.
So I can, if I were to go to a client and they have a need of a on-prem solution, I could probably start implementing your stack because it's licensed to be used like that.
Yes,
right?
This is open source. Yeah, so you can use that also in on-premise. Yeah. Of course, yeah. You need to come to the configuration that will work in that because we test that only on GKE and AKS right now. Yep. So we never run it for any bare metal configuration. So I do not So there is nothing special in the installation, but
Yeah.
there is always some corner case that can happen. But
Yeah.
it's open source, so we can fix it. Yes.
Yeah, of course. I understand. Thanks a lot.
And
Thank you.
please note that we also have our release planned on our blog posts. So, for example, 09, when it was scheduled for release, there was a blog post about it with the dates and the description of what's expected. So 1.1 also will have a blog post soon.
Yeah, soon. I'm working on that.
Okay. So yeah, let's quickly go through our XenHub, unless someone else has any topic to discuss related to what was discussed right now. I try to add a couple of note points here, but so yeah, Morris, it would be great when you create the feature request for us, and we will definitely try to work on it. For the documentation also, I'll take it to our teams also about improving the documentation for the components dependency. So that also some very useful feedback. If you have no more questions, let's jump into our generic SIG core board, where right now, usually for the new ones, we sometimes have proposals, as I showed you, to be discussed during our production SIG or during the normal working days. And these land with issues that have a label SIG core. And right now, there is an issue that's in progress about providing a proposal that would allow us to release our components in a single pull request. Because right now, the process is that for a new component, a Kyma Core component, a component that's already part of Kyma repository, you push some code, and then that needs a pull request that will be merged in the component code because we have a mono repo right now. Then you need a second pull request that will update the Helm chart to use the released Docker versions that were built from that. And we are trying to figure out if we can actually have both of them in a single pull request, which will improve our building stability and speed also quite significantly. So this is something that's going in progress. If you would also be interested in the proposal that will be coming out of that, then probably we're expecting this to come within this release. So probably at one point we will discuss this proposal once it's ready, if we found out that this is there is a efficient way of doing and improving that. Okay, nothing else here. So unless you guys have any other final questions.
No.
Okay, very well. Thank you guys very much, and see you again in 2 weeks. And yeah, stay engaged on Slack. We are trying to be as responsive as possible. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
Nice talking to you guys. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.